Alright guys, welcome back to the 10th update on Tropical Cyclone Freddy, which is still churning away in the South Indian Ocean today. As you can see on the satellite imagery, it looks like an impending eye wall replacement cycle is about to begin. We can quite clearly see that with the eye really starting to shrink. Still, cloud spots are pretty good around that eye wall. Mauritius could be copying us up to 45 miles per hour currently, potentially as a high of 50. It's currently made its closest approach to Mauritius, and it's going to be making its closest approach to La Réunion probably within the next few hours or so, maybe even in the next hour. Currently, the storm has maximum sustained winds of 140 miles per hour. There's 120 knots, gusting with winds of 175 miles per hour. It's moving west-southwest at 17 miles per hour on the wind gust scale. It is a level 10. It's maxed out the scale. A level 10 is wind gusts above 160 miles per hour, and it's completely maxed it out. When it was at its peak of 160 miles per hour, just yesterday, the wind gusts were all the way up at 195 miles per hour, so it's literally destroyed the scale, essentially. Take a look at the estimates here. ADT at 135, they had it at 117 knots, and there's no real way you can convert that really that well. You can either convert it to 130 or 140. I just went in between. I know 135 doesn't technically exist, but that's what ADT is going with. AIDT also 135 miles per hour. ATCF 140 miles per hour. SATCON at 145 miles per hour. And RNR, since we're going with the ATCF, which is 140, I won't be surprised if that is a bit lower now, though, since the impending eye wall replacement cycle is probably going to begin pretty soon. If it doesn't begin, then I'll be pretty shocked. Taking a look at the JTWC forecast cone here, we can see that 120 knot storm there. With those wind gusts, they're extending over Mauritius, the island there. Potentially, wind gusts could exceed 45 miles per hour. There's already been many reports of gusts up to 40 knots on the island of Mauritius. And we can see it's going to pass near La Réunion, and that landfall potentially still as a Category 3 cyclone. Look at that re-strengthening in the Mozambique Channel. Back up to a Category 1 cyclone before another landfall in Mozambique. So we need to watch this very carefully. This is actually the first ever storm to cross over the entire South Indian Ocean since Cyclone Leon Eline of the year 2000. And I believe that was the longest lived tropical cyclone in the southern hemisphere. This system got a lot stronger than that system, and this is probably one of the biggest ace producers of any southern hemisphere tropical cyclone. Take a look at some satellite imagery here. This is CA imagery or CA imagery, and you can see pretty decent minus 75, minus 80 degrees blowing up in that southern quadrant. Pretty consistent convection as well, up to minus 70 degrees wrapping around the whole eye wall. You can see that eye in the latest frames looking like it's getting a bit clouded up there. Yeah, but it's still going to be a threat here for Mauritius and La Réunion. Gusts could still be up to 45 miles per hour, which can cause some unsecured objects to start going and falling over, or if it's stuff like paper and stuff, or trees or leaves, they could the leaves could start flying in the air. So yeah, it isn't going to be too much of a wind gust threat. I think the main threat is going to be rainfall, if it's even going to be that, or probably just waves at this stage. Potentially La Réunion looking to be looking like the storm's going to go north of there, but it is still going to probably get some 40 mile per hour wind gusts there. It's not, thankfully it wasn't as strong as expected. Wind gusts from all the models were expected to be around 55 knots. But thankfully the storm went a bit further north than expected. Also, the wind field wasn't as large as what was initially expected, and those wind gusts have stayed quite low. Take a look at the RB top imagery here. You can see consistent minus 75, minus 80 degree convection, pretty nicely wrapping around that eye. Very good structure. It's no longer annular, and you can see that band there to the west of the storm, looking pretty decent. The inflow there as well, wrapping around into that storm, looking pretty decent on that front. But yeah, like I said, Mauritius 45 mile per hour wind gusts, potentially up to 50 miles per hour, and that Réunion could be getting 45 to 40 mile per hour wind gusts as well. So make sure you watch out carefully for this storm system. It's not going to be the biggest threat in the world. It won't be as bad as Batsy Rai, but I still recommend staying in your shelters until the storm has safely passed away. And then once the storm has passed away from your location, you should be good to get out. And then Madagascar, make sure you watch this out very carefully. This storm is going to be a big threat, could make landfall as a Category 3 cyclone. Anyway, thank you for watching this update on Tropical Cyclone Freddy. I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you in the next update. Peace out.